elsker dette landet som det stiger frem. Hey you guys. Gratulerer med dagen, we say in Norway today, because it's the 17th of May, and the 17th of May is the Norwegian National Day, technically Constitution Day. We celebrate in that little gap between Denmark being told that they had to give up Norway to Sweden in 1814, that some Norwegians said, no, screw this, we want to be independent. So they sat down and they wrote the Norwegian constitution and elected, ironically, the Danish crown prince, Christian Frederick, as the king of Norway. And we were going to be independent for the first time entirely since the 1300s. So the Swedes were busy down on the continent, having been given Norway as a prize for winning the war against all Napoleon and losing in the earlier Finland to Russia, and in a war that Denmark-Norway was forced into on Napoleon's side, because the British pretty much, first stole our fleet and then firebombed Copenhagen. The Swedes then returned their army, and after a short war we lost, and that would have been the end of that. Although the new Swedish, not king yet, but he would become the king in 1818 when the last of the Swedish royal family died. A Frenchman? No, sorry. He, for some reason, let Norway keep its constitution with some amendments in a union with Sweden. A union that never really took hold that much. The Swedish nobility were told they couldn't get lands in Norway because Norway outlawed nobility, and in the end, in 1905, although it nearly turned into a war, Norway became independent, and we elected a Danish king from our old line of Danish kings, Karl, to become our king, Håkon the 7th, and Harald the 5th, which is our current king, is the grandson of that king. He's also part of the Danish royal family, and he's part of the Swedish royal family through his mother, and through the British royal family, because his grandmother, Queen Maud, was a granddaughter of Queen Victoria. So why do we celebrate the 17th of May instead of, for example, 1905, when we did become independent? Well, that happened during October, November, and May is a lot nicer than October, November, and also the celebration of 17th of May sort of took hold quite early into the union with Sweden, although the Swedish king did try to, stomp it down, but that's the way it's been. And what do? Well, we have parades, children's parade, no military parade, except the King's Guard, which sort of ends the parade, and all the children in their respective schools walk in a parade with the flags waving and all that. Here in Oslo, all the schools sort of congregate in a few different areas in Oslo, and then they merge and walk up our main street of Karl Johan, which passes Parliament and goes all the way up to the royal castle, where the royal family stands on the balcony and waves back to the children and the marching bands and all that stuff. In other cities, because, we have a small royal family and they can't be everywhere, they either walk to some other royal residence or town halls and such, depending on whatever they have to walk up to, really. And all the children eat a lot of ice cream. All the adults might also eat some ice cream, but everyone eats a lot of Norwegian equivalent of hot dogs, which is, sausage with that soft bread made out of potato flour, which we call lumpe here in Norway, wrapped around it. That's much more we don't Most Norwegians eat it that way. We don't eat a lot of hot dog buns here. And then, of course, a lot of adults, especially the ones who don't have children yet, will drink a lot. And we have something called Russ. Russ are last year of high school. They get together and buy buses and build them into party buses, and they wear red overalls, most of them. Some of them wear blue. Those are the kids who go to these trade high schools. I still have some green ones, I think, which is agriculture high schools, and you had some other colors too. I don't remember if they're still around. So why am I not out there celebrating with everyone? Well, I'm part Danish. This is the day of sadness for me. No, but like I said, it's very much for children and families. I don't have either. Going out with your girlfriend or wife, I don't have that. Having close family friends, sorry, don't have that either. Or being with your family. I have a half brother, and he's hanging out, doing whatever he's doing, and and I don't have any fancy clothes really, and it tends to be that you get looked at disfavorably if you don't dress up for this day. So I'm not sure I'm going to stay inside all day, but I might. And I'm really tired because some either mentally ill or probably a drug user of a woman. And this is not the first time. She started standing outside my building here at around 4 o'clock this morning, started screaming about everything. I don't know what's happened this time, but she had a lot of luggage around her, and every time someone tried to help her, she screamed rape and so on and so forth. And so I'm pretty tired because I got back from, the health retreat or whatever you want to call it yesterday. There was a lot of physical activity. And I stayed up a bit too late to try and enjoy my evening and watch some movies. Jason Statham movie. So I thought, isn't there any threads around? No one's thrown me any, no one in the VC have thrown me any do this challenges. That's the word I was looking for. So I think, I want to make a video. And I had a video premiere at midnight about the Norwegian artist, which I thought was apt since this is Norway's National Day. But what I did was I gathered up some records from Norwegian artists. Some of these records are either my favorite by these artists, or it's just an example. And I thought I'd show you some. Maybe you can check some of these out and have a little bit of a Norwegian experience yourself. I don't know. But before I start showing you these records, I want to do a shout out. Yes, Christian is back in the vinyl community, and he has a new channel with a new name, and it's front to back vinyl. Yes, Christian. You guys remember Christian. So if you didn't know, head on over to his channel, or if this is the first time you hear about him, head on over to his channel and give the man a subscription and maybe say hi for me. He's got a couple of videos out by now, and one of them was very good because it was about Iron Maiden. So anyway, guys, let's just look at some Norwegian music. Bands, artists, for the hell of it, since it's the 17th of May. And I did check, and the biggest Norwegian 17th of May parade outside of Norway is in Seattle, actually, which isn't so strange because that's one of the last places where a lot of Norwegians migrated to. And was hoping to get to the National Library here in Oslo because they have an exhibition about because this year is the 200th anniversary of the start of Norwegian immigration to North America. So that might be interesting. So the first I just wanted to show you is, some of these I've shown before, but I don't have a ton of Norwegian music. I've talked about this before. I'm not a very good Norwegian when it comes to culture and media and so forth here in Norway. I'm more of an Anglophile, Welsh-loving, Australian-loving. Yeah, I've said all that before. So this is Libido. Libido showed up around sort of the mid to late 90s. And I remember this got a pretty good review in Q magazine, for example. And they were promising things, and this is a strong album. If you like, Brit pop music of the more rocking version, maybe this isn't. You could probably see it a little bit in the cover art and the name, how they done this, Killing Some Dead Time. It's not 100 miles away from maybe what Oasis did, but probably a little more poppy. Maybe closer to Cost. Now I don't remember, but anyway, this is good stuff. Check it out. And that was readily available in the UK back then, so I mean there should be some UK copies of that on Discogs. So these girls here, I think is same year, 1998. They were like touted as like sort of a Norwegian. Everything has to be something or other in order to explain what it is. But the Tuesdays were really good, and if you like bangles and you want to check out the Tuesdays, you can't go wrong there. Wow, 165 kroner in 1998. Wow, this is an expense. What if I bought this at an airport? And as you know, and I don't think I'll show it this time because I showed it so many times, but I really like, Kings of Convenience, and one of the members there, Erlend Øye, has done a couple of records as the whitest boy alive, but he also done a few solo albums, of which I only have one, unfortunately, but time will, maybe I'll get more. So this is Erlend Øye's solo debut, and it's just called Unrest. You can see it's Unrest above his hand there. Really, he tends to be sort of a bit more electronic in his music on his own compared to what they do in Kings of Convenience. I think Paul Simon being a bit more like Beck when he became a solo artist in a way. Yeah. Speaking of Beck, we have a Norwegian artist who's relatively well known internationally, and his name is Sandre Lea from Bergen, and he's been around for 25 years or so now. He started very young, and I was going to show. I know I have his. I think it's his debut album on CD, but I cannot find the damn thing. So either I misplaced it, or maybe it's in Denmark. I don't know. But Sandre Lea. You should check him out. We have quite a few female artists in Norway in the past 25 to 30 years, and still do, who make some pretty awesome, more electronic type music. And one of my favorites of all Norwegian artists is Bartina Zetlitz. And she's an Oslo girl, as far as I remember. She's my age now, so... she's been around my age all her life. But she made some really great albums there in the sort of the end of 90s, early 2000s, and yeah, My Italian Greyhound is really good if you can find that. And roller skating, and Beautiful So Far is probably my favorite of her albums. I really recommend her. I think this was her biggest seller, Sweet Injections, and I think that's the one they try to push the most internationally as well. When I started making this video, I was sure I was going to forget some artist, and I remembered one now, so I just had to grab that one. Another Norwegian band I really like. Unfortunately, I only have this compilation, which isn't bad, of course, because it's a great compilation. It's Seigmen. And this is Monument, 1989 to 1999. Seigmen, if you can check them out, I would recommend you do that. Really, really great music. This is another band from Bergen. Well, Sandre Lea is from Bergen. But these three girls, I would, or women, I would classify them as being not, in harmonies and so on, a bit like the two Swedish sisters, First Aid Kit. They made 3 albums. I only have 2 of them, and then things got silent. But apparently they made a new album in 2020. Yeah, 2020, which was their first album in 15 years. This is Ephemera, another wonderful band, and they sing in English, so don't worry if you can get some Ephemera. Of course, I will have to mention Aha, but I'll get to them sooner. However, Paul Voktor, whose name now is actually Paul Voktor Savoy, after his wife, he also named his band, other band from, because Aha's broken up a few times, and he's done it as a side project when Aha isn't doing anything, and that's a Savoy. And Savoy has made several records, and if you love Aha, you cannot go wrong with Savoy. Lackluster Me is my favorite of Savoy's albums. I mentioned her before. I only have one vinyl album, but my favorite album of hers is on CD. Mentioned before again, bought it at a whim at Basturock in Aarhus when I was at school in Denmark, and it's Anja Garbarek with Balloon Mood. This cover I think was mostly for Scandinavia. So there's another version of this with a very, very different looking album cover, but Anja Garbarek, if you like Björk, for example, and maybe Kate Bush and quirky electronic sounds, I would definitely check out Anja Garbarek. This is probably more just for people in Scandinavia because of the lyric content always being in Norwegian. But one of the most famous bands in Norwegian music history are from Oslo, and they are DeLillos, named after Lars Lillo. Another great thing about DeLillos, have I mentioned a great thing about them? But the great thing about DeLillos is that they have 2 strong songwriters. So I feel sometimes that one of them is a bit Neil Youngish, a bit Kinks type, while the other one has a more darker sense of lyrical content, and that's Lars Bäckström. So if you remember the Woman in the Wall by The Beautiful South, he sometimes goes down this path. This is their best album in my opinion. I have it on vinyl, but it's in Denmark. This is Hjernen er alene, the brain or the mind is alone, and this was their 3rd album. So they have been both a trio and a quartet for a long time. I'll just show you one of their later albums so you can see them there. So la oss bli fri fra all nostalgi. Let us all be free of all nostalgia. Another, great Norwegian band. So let's look at some vinyl. I showed this just a few videos ago because I picked it up at a record fair. Sorry. I have a couple of CDs, but I wanted to show. This is Falipi, and they had a couple of smaller hits in the UK, couple of fairly big ones in France, and for some reason they became really popular in Japan and in the Philippines. Really great pop sensibility. Also sort of local boys from Nesodden, just across the fjord from me. So Falipi, check them out. These records are all over Discogs. I made a video when this man passed away about a year and a half, nearly 2 years ago. I know Garage Geek knows him and have listened to him. This is Lillebjørn Nilsen, another Oslo artist. Lovely singer-songwriter. Love him to bits. Again, this is very much Norwegian and Norwegian lyrics. So, but you know, I've talked about this before. You know, sometimes you just listen to what's the voice and the mood and the music, of course. But yeah, gategutt, you know, street boy of the streets. Regnet en venn, the rain is a friend. Bysommer, summer in the city. Not summer in the city, but yeah. Children of the Rainbow, one of the best-selling songs in Norwegian history, mostly. Alexander Kiellands Plass, Alexander Kielland Square, which is just about, I don't know, kilometer in that direction. Inni mitt hode, inside my head, and of course the wonderful Stilleste gutt på sovesal 1. You know, voted the quietest boy in sleeping hall 1. You know, when kids were sent away on summer camp in the old days. I don't know if that's still a thing. This one I picked up 2 weeks ago at the record fair. This is Motorpsycho, a band that I have wanted to get into for many years. I finally did, but this was an EP, so and I paid quite a bit of money for it, so I kind of yeah, but I love the cover art, and yeah, I need to listen to it more. But something about putting on EPs, you know, you go, oh, I gotta go back right away and flip it, and then it's all over. I have to have some Norwegian heavy metal. I do have one or two things, but it's mostly CDs. And so this is Enslaved. And for those heavy metal people out there, you know them. I only have one record by them. I want to get more, but they tend to be quite expensive, even on the second-hand market. So this is Heimdal. Shown this before. I got it about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago now. Time flies. Shown this a few times. Really enjoyable album. Kåre and the Cavemen with Jet Age. If you like filmatic, sort of 70s tinged music that would go well in a Quentin Tarantino film, for example. This is really cool. Also, if you sort of like, I guess, Jamiroquai and Corduroys, I would definitely listen to these. These guys are in several different bands, and one of them is Euroboys, which is more your West Coast California type 70s style music. And here is Euroboys, by the way. Soft Focus, excellent album. Really, you know, yes, this is nice, very nice kind of album. Next up, some Norwegian proggish, folky, Darklight, traditional, untraditional, music by the band that I'm extra fond of, because the singer of this band, and I also slightly know his twin brother, who is also in the band, used to be a colleague of mine. This is Tusmørke, and I have a couple of their CDs, and I have this one, and I would normally maybe show the other one that he signed, but I can't push the nudity thing too much on YouTube, so there you go. This is Bydyra, wonderful, actually a children's rock opera, if you like. Wonderful stuff. If you follow our prog friend on the One community, he's interviewed them, and he knows a lot about Norwegian prog music, which I should probably know more about, but time, money. This one I got a month and a half ago or something, like that, and it's a band I really love. I love the singer here, Anneli Drecker, who sometimes lends her voice to another band I'm going to show you in a little second. But this is Belcanto, their latest album, and my first on vinyl. Check out Belcanto. I keep saying it, guys. Check them out. You'll love them. They sing in English as well, if that is any help at all. This is the kind of music where I'm proud I'm Norwegian, I'll say, when I hear Belcanto. Aha, of course. Not my number one favorite album, but I've shown that quite a few times as well, which is Scoundrel Days, by the way, their second album. This is one of their strongest album, and a return to sort of more electronic sounding music, synth type music, so later in their career. This I just got on vinyl. It's their 15th it's a 15th anniversary edition of Foot on the Mountain. If you haven't thought about Aha, or are one of the many people in North America who thought they released one single in 1985 and disappeared, they didn't. They kept living on with lots and lots of fans and huge concerts in Brazil and Germany and the UK and Asia and all that stuff, and they're still going on. I think they're currently in their third existence, because they broke up a couple of times. So there you are, with my namesake Morten. If I have a favorite Norwegian artist, Aha is one of them, but I can't say necessarily that these two others aren't my favorites as well. This is Aurora, of course, and she is very much in the focus these days because of a British Netflix drama which is doing the rounds right now. Something about a boy, some murders. But one of her songs from her debut album, which this isn't, by the way, is in that and has got massive plays again, by the way. So what is the name of this album again? It's almost illegible. Yeah, you don't need to know that. But yeah, it's a signed copy, and I now have 2 signed copies of her records. Aurora, wonderful Aurora. Just as special and different and unique as Anja Garbarek, which I talked about earlier. And just finally, the other band that I also, or duo or group of people who make music that I consider my favorite Norwegian ones, like I said, Aurora, Aha, Belcanto, and so on. And it's Röyksopp. And the reason I grabbed this one is because I want to listen to it. I haven't listened to it for a while. I just got bought on my birthday, for my birthday, which was on Monday, their latest release. But this is the mixtaped, or lost tapes rather, and it's a great record as well. So guys, if you watched so far, thank you so much for that. Please click on Christian's. I'll provide a link, Christian's channel there, and check out his channel again. Give him a subscription, please. That I would really appreciate. Any of these Norwegian bands and music that you thought sounded interesting, I hope you check them out, and maybe I do try to offer up some Scandinavian choices in my videos. I would have loved it if I could have given you a music sample from this, but as you can see, this video ended up being a bit longer than I had planned on, but there you are. So guys, please click like, that helps my channel. If you want to subscribe, that makes me happy. Thank you to my latest subscribers, and I hope to see you all soon, very soon. Bye.